The next phase is the physical phase. Now, different mechs can always do physicals to the unit that is in the hex next to them. He can't see anything. It can only be in the forward arc. He, however, can see the legacy. He can kick him. The Raijin can also kick the Locust. Now, like the firing phase, the physical phase is all done simultaneously. So let's go ahead and take care of this. You start off with your piloting skill roll, 5. Your piloting skill, 5. He ran, 6, 7. His mod, 8, 9, 10. So he's got a hit on 10s, but kicking is always done at -2. Now this is a gamble. If he connects, he does a lot of fairly reliable damage for his weight. But if he misses, then he has to take another piloting skill roll because he just Charlie Browned himself. So we've got a hit on 7. He just barely connected. So you take 1 die to figure out the location using this table right here. He rolls a 4, which allows him to hit the left leg. So you take the tonnage of the mech that is doing the kick, which I believe is 25 tons. Yeah. And you divide it by 5. So he's going to do 5 points of damage to the right leg of the light ray. So you just fill it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because he received a successful kick, the light ray now needs to make a piloting skill roll. No mods. Can you guess what it is? Should be a 5. He rolled a 10. He's okay with this. The Raijin is going to kick him as well. So you start off with 5. He jumped 6, 7, 8. He ran 9, 10. And then you subtract 2. So he's going to hit on 8. Uh-oh, that 1's pretty foreboding. He rolled a 6, so he missed. Now he needs to take a piloting skill roll to make sure that this missed kick doesn't cause him to fall. He's okay. He was perfectly fine with it. And that is the end of the physical phase. Then you do in-turn resolution stuff, which is usually heat effects. I don't think there is any. Not for this turn. Take a look at the legacy, and we'll see that it's got some heat problems. At 12, no, he doesn't have anything to worry about. But you'll notice that at 12, he's got a scaling heat problem. He's got a -2 movement points, +1 move to fire, it's always the highest one when it comes to movement points. So it's +2 mod and -2 movement points, so he's going to be a 1-2 as far as movement. It's always, you take the walking, have it, and then you round it up where possible. So it's going to be 1-2. We never did take a look at what's happening to the Raijin for jumping. He gets 1 heat point for every hex he moved. I do believe that's still true. If it's not, then there's going to be hilarious editing going on. He fired everything, which put him up 5 heat, plus another, this should have been done earlier, mind you, plus another 6, so he's at 11 heat. Just like that. And that's the end of the phase. After that, you would roll initiative again, just like so, with Clan getting 7, and Wobbies getting 5, letting the Wobbies move again. But let's go ahead and elaborate just a little on the different things that would happen in a normal game of Battletech. Now let's assume for a second that when he made his piloting skill roll, he fell with a 3. That means after he took the shots in the weapons fire phase, he would have fell. You just knock the miniature over like that. Be gentle. I mean, that's a heavy miniature. Then you roll 1 die. Well, that's the aerospace save. Battletech, game for people that like tables. There you go. You roll 1 die. 1. You check the facing after a fall. It's same direction, front. Which means he face planted after that. Just like that. And then, you probably tripped on a rock or something. Then you take the mech's weight. The girthy asthmatic night wolf is at 90 tons. You take his weight and you divide it by 10. That's 9. And then you divide it into 5-point clusters, and then you deal the damage, like the table said, to the front. So it's 5, which means right leg. And then another 4-point remaining to the 6, which is the left leg. Now always when they fall like this, you have to make what is called a seatbelt check. The pilot himself could get injured in the fall. He just fell 2 stories essentially. Make 1 roll, it's your normal piloting skill roll, that's fine. He would have been fine. But let's assume for the purposes of our bat rep, or our interview, well, 5, that's still good. There you go, you rolled snake eyes, that's horrible. But you can only fail so much. So you go up to the piloting, and you knock one of the hit boxes off. If for some reason he ever takes 6 points, he dies. The mech just stops where it is. This can happen from multiple falls, getting slow concussive injuries over and over again, or every time the head gets hit, doesn't matter if it punctures or anything, it always loses 1 point of pilot health, regardless. After that, he has to make a consciousness check. In this case, it's listed underneath how many hits he took. He needs a 3. Anything but snake eyes. He's okay. If he rolled a 1, or if he rolled a 2, he would have fell unconscious. That means next turn he's counted as being an immobile target. He doesn't get to do anything next turn. Doesn't get to move, doesn't get to do anything, but his mech still, cools off. And then all kinds of other interesting things happen. Because if you check out your handy-dandy combat sheet, you'll see that immobile targets get a -4. Might as well just sign your death warrant. Let's assume in our fictional situation that the Raijin, for some reason, or was capable in some manner or fashion, to generate up to, let's say, 18 heat over successive turns. Because this sticks with you. You got to start running a deficit if you want to get it to go back down. You see that at 18, it's got a shutdown, a void on 6+. Anytime that happens, you start rolling each one of them as you go up. So it's shut down a void on 4+. So the first shutdown event, he's okay. Shutdown event on 6+. He is okay. If he did not, the reactor would have shut down, and the mech would have immediately fell. Or at least he would have to take a PSR for it. You'll see that just like at the end of the phase, you resolve this. Of course, this would have happened at the very end of the whole round, right before you rolled initiative. You would have to... Where is it? Yeah, mech's fusion reactor or fission shuts down. That's +3. So it would be 5 + 3, 8. So you'd have to make an 8+ to keep the mech from falling on its face. And if it did, you'd follow the exact same procedure you just did for the Night Wolf. Now, let's assume that those criticals started happening on the Night Wolf. Remember when the Locust 2C was shot all up because of lucky crits and just blowing open the torso? Let's assume that it hit the arm, and then they rolled for a location, or because it opened up or breached it, and then it hits, say this, the ATM 9-7, the standard ATM ammo. That is an ammo bin. What it does then, after it hits, you immediately resolve another hit. It's the ATM 9 × 7. You take the normal damage that this thing could have done. It has 7 rounds. It does 2 points of damage each, and there are 9 of them. So it's 7 × 2, 14 × 9, which is, I'm not a human calculator. It's huge. And then you just fill in all the dots, and you keep going through the internal structure, tracking your way in until you fill in all the dots. Chances are ammo explosions almost always kill the mech. They don't live through this. But this is a clan mech. It has what's called case. And what will first happen is that the entire armor section, or the arm, will get filled in. Then you mark it off like this, and then the damage no longer carries. That is one of the values of a clan mech. And then you immediately knock off 2 health points from the poor pilot, and then you make consciousness checks for both events. And that is the basics of Battletech. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, if you want to see more advanced or more different terrain types, we can go over skidding, perhaps, or even woods, which woods are pretty straightforward. Extra movement point to enter and leave, +1 to shoot through, and you add them all up. If it ends up being 3 continuous hexes, the shot is always blocked. You can't shoot through them, just like you can't shoot through buildings. So let me know, and leave a comment below, and I'll take a look at them. You guys have been awesome.